Previously. The forest wasn't the only thing holding secrets. Dr. Elias Voss, called before Congress for the first time in 4 decades, confirmed what many feared, but few dared speak aloud. Rendlesham wasn't an isolated event. It was the opening move in a long, calculated operation, one designed to test the boundaries between perception and reality. Voss testified that Project Condon, the Tic Tac incident, and the experiments conducted at Capel Green were connected through engineered plasma fields, advanced signal modulation, and something far more elusive, consciousness itself. Jack Barrett's return to the spotlight wasn't just about disclosure. It was about convergence. The forest had changed him, and now the phenomenon wasn't done. Tonight we begin again, with Jack awakening from a sleep he doesn't remember entering, drawn back toward the forest and toward the part of himself that never returned. This time, he won't be alone. This time, it knows he's coming.
Silence between dreams and dawn, where shadows speak and time is drawn. They called him back, though part remained, in echoes lost and memory chained. The signal pulses quiet deep, in hearts that wake but never sleep. 2 men return with broken threads to chase the light their future bled. It whispered through the wires at night, through veils of green and spectral light. A memory not yet lived still burns, but time once cracked, it never learns. The countdown hides in static air. The forest calls, the breach laid bare. Jack wakes inside a deeper plan. The echo knows just who I am. And in the frost where watchers stood, the shadow truth still haunts the wood. The shape returns, the veil begins, and no one leaves with what they bring.
December 27th, 1980, RAF Woodbridge. Jack bolted upright in bed. He didn't know how he'd gotten there. His last memory was distorted. Fragments of frost, silence, and light. But the forest wasn't done with him. Not yet. "You are not whole." The voice wasn't audible. It vibrated in his marrow. "Part of you remained. You must return. Nightfall. The 27th. He stumbled to his feet, hands trembling. For a split second, the mirror across the room reflected someone else. Same frame, same eyes, but older. Something hadn't returned with him, or something had, but stayed behind. RAF Martlesham, Heath, 1400 hours. Dr. Elias Voss tapped through new telemetry while Christopher Pike reviewed field charts. A new harmonic pattern had registered, one too deliberate to be random. 3,447 hours, inverted field, 12.9 Hz spike, duration 11 seconds. Langley was already aware. Their footprint was expanding. Pike wasn't just observing Jack, he was embedded due to what happened the night of December the 26th. After that encounter, Jack's memory had been chemically suppressed by order of a special access program, and Pike, whose plasma field research intersected with the anomaly's energy signature, was assigned to track his neurological evolution. Jack's memory wasn't damaged. It was being restructured. Pike was one of the few who had seen the early modeling. He understood the phenomenon didn't erase. It embedded. Intel report. Echo frame cover. Briefing. Meanwhile, the Soviets had deployed a frog team to intercept debris from Novasat, a classified Zenit-based spy satellite rumored to carry plasma field sensors and exotic EM propagation testbeds. Voss knew this wasn't coincidence. The satellite's re-entry path intersected the anomaly field, Capel Green. They needed a cover story. Fast. Voss, Pike, and CIA analyst Christopher Hunter Green coordinated with Langley to position a psychological monitoring team on base. The wing commander was briefed. Anomalous activity was expected. His role was simple: dispatch a routine investigation team when the lights appeared. The commander had been informed of the frog team's proximity, the need to misdirect recovery operations, and the involvement of high-tier surveillance systems. He wasn't happy, but he agreed. December 27th, OSI interrogation room. Sergeant B sat across from two intelligence officers. His eyes were bloodshot but sharp. Describe the moment the lights appeared. We were just inside the tree line, heard static on the radios. No voices, just distortion. Then the lights came in from the left, hovering in a pattern like... not random. And then... my men started to freeze. Not out of fear, like their bodies wouldn't respond. I told them to fall back, but I stayed. Because Jack had stayed the first night. Did you speak to it? It didn't need to. I felt it in my spine, like a signal, asking who we were. Following the debrief, Sergeant B's memory was chemically veiled. He was returned to duty the same day, unaware that the signal he encountered had already marked him. But the suppression was failing. Like Jack, the block mechanisms, both pharmaceutical and hypnotic, were degrading. They weren't supposed to remember. But the phenomenon had other plans. Later that night, Jack's quarters. Jack sat hunched at a metal desk, tracing spirals again and again. His hand moved without instruction. Pike entered quietly. I intercepted this. He laid down a spectrogram, a sharp crimson spike, 4 seconds wide. That's not noise, Pike said. That's you, responding. Jack didn't answer. Why do I feel like I've already gone back? Because part of you had. Washington, D.C., present day. Dr. Voss stood before the Intelligence Committee, hands clasped. Was this a provoked event? It was, Voss said. Engineered convergence. The Rendlesham experiment seeded the field. Did this lead to the Nimitz incident? Yes. The signatures match. That wasn't an accident. It was a benchmark test, both for our hardware and for something else. Why the test? To see if our systems could engage the phenomenon without collapsing. He leaned forward. But we weren't just watching it. It was watching us. Dr. Voss, you're not excused, as we will be adjourning for the evening and reconvening at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We will have many more questions as Mr. Barrett continues to testify. RAF Woodbridge, December 27th, 22:30 hours. The air shimmered at the edge of the tree line. Jack and Sergeant B stood side by side. Neither spoke. The forest was calling them back. And this time, it wasn't just for observation. The signals were no longer silent. Jack and Sergeant B had entered the forest changed men, touched not just by light, but by intent. The phenomenon hadn't simply returned, it had evolved. Their memories, once chemically veiled and buried beneath layers of psychological interference, were beginning to slip free. Each flash of recognition, each pulse of harmonic resonance carried the weight of a larger truth. The phenomenon wasn't just observing, it was orchestrating. Behind every shadowed corridor at Langley, behind every redacted memo and closed-door testimony, the same question was starting to whisper its way into every agency involved. Who sent the signal, and what is it waiting for? The countdown had already begun.
Through the silence of time, I walked alone, but the stars knew my name in undertone. From Rendlesham woods to Saturn skies, I carry the echo, I lived the why. It wasn't the end, it was unfolding. Not contact made, but truth beholding. Beyond the war, beyond the flame, we weren't just shadows, we became. We became.